Hey y'all, it's Josh. We've been talking all month about the Van Halen song Finish What You Started, which is this awesome sort of country blues. Most of the song is just E to A, and Eddie's playing this cool lick. And in between there, he's just improvising a bunch of stuff. Things that fit over E7 to A7. There's a whole other video about that, about how to go through and practice those things in a way that allows you to absorb some of what Eddie is thinking about when he was playing those things without forcing yourself into a really constraining box of, oh, I gotta play exactly what Eddie plays. Because when you listen to the live recording, Eddie's not playing what Eddie played on the record. He's just playing some stuff that fits. So you can get a lot of benefit from studying what he played and getting those sounds into your hands, but also starting to piece together, how did he come up with this? What was going through his mind as he went through there? That's the real benefit of transcribing things. Today, however, we are going to go through the guitar solo for Finish What You Started. I don't want to say it's easy, because it's not. But as far as things that Eddie Van Halen plays, it's relatively easy. I mean, I can mostly play it, and I'm not that good at guitar. Here, I've transcribed all the stuff and I put it into SoundSlice. The cool thing about SoundSlice is that this transcription, this tablature, and this notation that's in here is synchronized to the audio that's in there. Even when we slow down the audio or loop those sections, you're still going to be seeing on screen the notes exactly as they are played. And that allows us to sidestep one of the issues with tablature. Most tablature does not have rhythmic information displayed inside of it. It's not showing you, are these quarter notes, half notes, 16th notes, what are these? And even if it did, so many of us can't make sense of that information. And so it just becomes one extra thing to have to translate. We're just gonna sidestep all of that, and we're gonna show you the notes as they are played on screen, as you hear them, so that you can imitate them, and we'll slow them down. Let's take a look at this. This gray area right here is the loop section, which I've enabled right here. And when I hit play, it's gonna play that section. Baby, come on. Over and over and over and over. Baby, come on. I don't know about you, but this is pretty fast. Let's slow it down. Let's take a look at that. Here, in the bottom, I'm just gonna slow it down to, let's do 70%, and then let's hit play and see. Baby, come on. This is really handy because it allows us to go through and focus on what's actually important. Most people, when they learn a song, work on it chronologically. They start at the beginning, they play it through to the end. It's not a very good way to practice, though, because it only gets you one chance at each section, and let's face it, they're not all going to be the same level of difficulty. So use SoundSlice to loop the sections and to slow them down to a tempo that you can perform them at. But also, you don't have to start playing this solo in a chronological order. You can choose a different place to start, and that's what we're going to do right now. The solo has a repeated motif that Eddie plays. That's the beginning of each of the 4 rotations as they go through. The third one is the most symmetrical, I guess. It's the most straightforward. And if you learn the third one first, you can learn the other 3 as sort of variations on that theme. And before we go any further, we should probably talk about chicken picking. A pick and a finger playing notes like this. I'm not going to walk you through every single note of this solo. It would be a waste of our time. You have the transcription here in SoundSlice. You can just go look at it, and you're going to get better context on how to play it there than you will from me explaining it. But I do want to talk about, where did these notes come from? Why are we playing these notes? What can we learn from Eddie's idea that we can make our own idea and apply in other situations? This one kind of surprised me a little because it's an E blues, basically. It's E and A, and so I was expecting, when I heard this boom, I was expecting those 2 notes to be outlining an E chord because that's what we've been playing this whole time. But they're not. This is the E chord here. This is an F sharp chord. I was like, wait, that shouldn't make sense. It doesn't sound good there. Until I listened to what Sammy Hagar's playing on acoustic guitar, Michael Anthony's playing on bass. They're playing an F sharp chord. So it's F sharp, G, D, F sharp. That's what's happening in that solo section. So when Eddie's playing these 2 notes, Now it's suddenly not so surprising. He's outlining the F sharp chord right here. From here, he goes down 2 frets. This is a just classic movement that happens all the time in lots of soul and blues and country music, and it's one that you should absolutely incorporate into your little bag of tricks so that you can use it when you're accompanying other people or taking solos. And the idea here is that you're outlining, this is the third and the root of the chord. This is F sharp. Let me show it to you in A. Get it right here in the middle of the neck. Here's an A, here's C sharp, and here's A. C sharp is the third, A is the root, and when we take this backwards, this is the 9th and the 7th. So we're basically taking an A chord and we're making it not just a 7th, but a 9th. A real bluesy sounding thing. And this will work anywhere that blues sound is going to be appropriate. So over a major chord or a dominant 7 chord that's got sort of that blues construction to it. It's not going to work over like an A major 7 because there's going to be a conflict between this note and this note. They're just going to sound like this together, which is not a pleasant sound. So, and you've heard this. My God, what's the famous example? Fortunate Son is exactly that. I don't know if it's in this key. That's showing it in the same spot that Eddie's playing it. So it's the third and the root, it's the 9th and the 7th, and you just keep going back from here. This is like the root and the 6th, I guess you'd say. And this is the flat 7th and the 5th. You don't have to think about the math behind this in real time, but it is really helpful to be able to see how these things relate to each other, and then you can just let your hands take over. This has got this kind of shape like a major chord, so does this one. These are together almost like a D chord. And once you have those things under your fingers, you can deploy them really quickly, exactly like Eddie Van Halen is doing here. The only other thing that I would really even mention about this solo is the last 2 measures here on our chart. We got measure 10. We're basically playing some B blues stuff because the band is playing a B chord. So we're just going to play some B blues stuff. All of these things, if you don't have the contextual information about them, you're just wandering around in the dark trying to take a wild-ass guess. What is this person playing? Especially, what is this person playing really, really fast? And it can be very difficult, and it can be very discouraging until you realize, wait, there's a rhythm guitar part, there's a bass player. I wonder what they're playing. They're playing a B chord. Okay, well, now I can kind of look over here and say, oh, yeah. We're playing some blues stuff over there. Is it weird to think of Eddie Van Halen as a blues guitarist or a country guitarist? Maybe. That's what he's playing. That's where it comes from. It's just he's putting his Eddie stamp on there. And the purpose of learning things like this is not so that you can perfectly mimic what Eddie is playing. I mean, that's cool and it's fun, don't get me wrong. But the real purpose of learning some of these things is so that it can inform your own choices and you can sound more like yourself. So get to it. Get practicing. I'll see you out there.